The year 2018 marks a century on from when guns around the world finally stopped firing, signalling the end of the First World War. And this weekend, the Salisbury Cathedral are putting on an event that will give people a more in-depth look into the Great War.
Tomorrow, Friday, is mostly a day that's based on education, so there'll be a lot of school parties here tomorrow, I think. But Saturday and Sunday are the days that most of the exhibitions will be here. So tomorrow there'll be some setting up, but there will be some marvellous displays. For example, in our patch here on the West Lawn, we've got the Royal Signals Museum coming, which has always been immensely popular. And then over Saturday and Sunday, more and more exhibits will be here. A trench system, which with some reenactors from the First World War, they've been here before and it's always immensely popular. There will be a replica artillery piece from the First World War. I think that's the first time that's been here. So that will be placed quite close to the trench system in recognition of the positioning that would have happened in real life.
One of the exhibitions that will be on show will be Somerset-based artist Rob Hurd's Shrouds project that looks to visualise the devastating costs of the war. Well, just behind me here, an exhibition of great detail is now being put together. 100 years on since the end of the First World War, over 1,500 of these shrouds are being laid to rest on Salisbury Cathedral's sacred burial ground, each one of these representing a day of the Great War, providing a stark reminder of the human cost of the war.
Well, this is part of the Shrouds of the Somme exhibition, which is a much larger exhibition, but we're very lucky here in Salisbury. This is the first time it's been shown this year, and the first time it's been shown since 2016. And it was a project really that started in Exeter, where a local woodcarver wanted to produce a graphical representation so that you could try and understand the scale of the destruction on the Somme, Battle of the Somme. And it's really moved on since then. And that was 2016, which was the 100th anniversary of the Somme. So we are in 2018, looking forward to commemorating the end of the First World War. Each one individually wrapped in a cotton shroud and hand-stitched to represent a casualty from the First World War, and they're being laid, as you can see, by soldiers. I understand they're members of the Rifles. I can see that from their uniform, and of course, the Wiltshire Regiment was one of the antecedent regiments of the Rifles, so it's very appropriate. Here we are in Salisbury to see soldiers from a local regiment helping to lay out these shrouds.
The weekend-long event comes from the Soldiers, Sailors and Airmen's Families Association, who were the only national military charity operating when World War I started.
We've got some marvellous archaeology projects. There's a fantastic art trail that's been set up using artworks from people who are using art as a way to express their feelings about the First World War and its impact. And some interesting pieces on, for example, the role of the horse in the First World War. And I think it'll be just very interesting for people, whatever their enthusiasms are, there'll be something for everyone.
Rob Hurd's next ambition is to make a shrouded figure for each of the 70,000 plus British and Commonwealth servicemen and women who have died but have no known grave.
I think it's going to be one of the most emotive parts of the exhibition, and it's certainly because we haven't seen this and it's so unusual and in such a marvellous place here out in the Cloister Garth, which is a sacred burial ground. There will be shrouds going elsewhere in the country this year, but the privilege of having them here in Salisbury for the first time that they're shown this year is marvellous.
Along with all the exhibitions, there will also be a special evensong commemorating the First World War on Sunday. Pete Baldry, That's TV.